Hi, and welcome to Origin of Concepts. Have you ever wondered what Stonehenge up here means and where the architecture came from? Well, I guess so, because I also do. Stonehenge is a megalithic monument in Wiltshire, England, consisting of a prehistoric stone circle built between 3000 BC and 1500 BC. It is commonly believed that the layout was deeply influenced by tracking the sun and the moon, aligning precisely with the summer solstice and at sunrise and the winter solstice at sunset. But this is just the good old average interpretation of ancient sites, in need of better explanations. But it was not the main purpose of Stonehenge. Stonehenge is surrounded by more than 300 burial sites or mounds or barrows, which is a clear indicator that Stonehenge was simply an early temple or gate between the divine and mortal worlds. The architecture reveals it all, because Stonehenge is a mirror of aspects in the Milky Way center. So let's open the Milky Way center. The Stonehenge structure is a replica of the striped shadow in the Milky Way center. And let me draw it for you here. This is the striped shadow. And here you got the pillars, the stripes is the pillars of Stonehenge. And this structure, this striped shadow here is also the crescent, the crown. So the stripes is like, standing in a crown. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's supposed to, go all the way around. And in virtually every ancient worldwide culture, the striped shadow was considered the gateway to heaven or the entrance to a divine temple. So here you got the structure. Let me put some stones above here so you can see. So here you got Stonehenge, the outer circle, because there's more. The inner design, formed like a horseshoe, represents the arc surrounding the disc. So first of all, we got, maybe I can make it up here in the corner. First we got the outer circle here. And then inside we got an arch. And then we got some kind of altar stone here. Something like that. And now this horseshoe shape here is of course the arc in the Milky Way center. So first you got the encirclement and then you got the entrance, so to speak. It's always an arc, also in cathedrals and churches and temples and everywhere. So they just made it, on the ground, so you walk into the arch instead of going through the arc. The altar stone placed in the center, this one here, which is placed in the center of the monument, is made of a unique stone of old red sandstone. And this red stone is of course representing the red stone here, the striped shadow. This is the red stone in the sky, because the golden light from the disc, is emanating from the disc and running into the striped shadow. so it looks like a red stone. So the red light of the Milky Way in the striped shadow is the red stone. And it had to be a very special stone to match the stone in the heaven. This is the only stone made of old red sandstone used in the entire complex. You know, it's not just the Stonehenge, but it's also the, wide area surrounding the Stonehenge complex. And this specific stone, the red stone, was brought to the site from northern Scotland, over 750 kilometers away. So yes, the symbolism of this stone was very, very important. They must import a stone that's not even exist in the southern England. So, and of course, you don't make a mirror of the sky above without making it real. So, and then I can add that the red golden disc light represents the spirit of a newborn or a recently deceased. So that's why they maybe they took newborn babies there. I don't think so. I think it was more to send the deceased to the afterlife, so to speak, because of the graveyard. So, nothing wild, just like a temple. Maybe they made some offerings or whatever. But it was a temple to say a bye-bye to the deceased, and give them a nice trip to the afterlife. Or maybe you got another opinion, but that's pretty obvious. Okay, and just to give a little, just to mention another example on, in Egypt, for example, they used the exact same architecture for their temple entrances. They also used pillars. They actually invented the pillars, so to speak, in temples, at least in the northern stream and upwards. Oh, sorry, the European stream and upwards. Okay, so now you know where the design for Stonehenge originated. In the Milky Way Center, of course. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. And until then, take care. Bye.